War is the continuation of politics by other means. These words by Karl von Clausewitz encapsulate the grim reality of World War I, a conflict that reshaped the globe. The Great War, as it was known before World War II, stands as one of the most brutal conflicts in human history. Millions of soldiers and civilians alike were caught in its destructive path. The war stretched across continents, involving nations from every corner of the globe. The sheer scale and ferocity of World War I left an indelible mark on society. It changed political borders, sparked revolutions, and set the stage for future conflicts. Let's embark on a journey to understand this colossal event. World War I was ignited by a web of complex factors. Nationalism, militarism, imperialism, and a tangled alliance system all played crucial roles. But it was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand that set the wheels in motion. The major players in this conflict included the Allied powers, primarily France, Russia, and Britain, against the Central Powers led by Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. Each nation brought its own motives and grievances to the table. The war began on July 28, 1914, and raged on until November 11, 1918. Over 4 years it embroiled over 30 nations and resulted in staggering casualties. This was not just a European war, it was a global conflict. Understanding why these nations were at odds helps us appreciate the war's complexity. It wasn't a single event but a series of tensions that erupted into full-scale war. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary was assassinated in Sarajevo. This event is often cited as the spark that ignited World War I. The assassin, Gavrilo Princip, was a member of a Bosnian Serb nationalist group. He sought to end Austro-Hungarian rule over Bosnia and Herzegovina. This assassination set off a chain reaction among the great powers of Europe. Austria-Hungary, with the backing of Germany, issued an ultimatum to Serbia. Serbia's response was deemed unsatisfactory, leading Austria-Hungary to declare war. This declaration triggered a series of war declarations due to existing alliances. This singular act of violence thus cascaded into a global conflict. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand exemplifies how a localized event can have far-reaching consequences. The alliance system in pre-war Europe was like a tightly wound spring. The major alliances were the Triple Entente, comprising France, Russia, and Britain, and the Triple Alliance of Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. When Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, Russia mobilized to support Serbia. Germany then declared war on Russia. France, bound by its alliance with Russia, found itself at war with Germany and Austria-Hungary. Germany's invasion of Belgium brought Britain into the war. This domino effect was largely due to the obligations set by these alliances. Each country was bound to support its allies, leading to a rapid escalation. Neutral nations found it increasingly difficult to stay out of the conflict as it spread. The alliance system turned what could have been a localized war into a global catastrophe. The world watched as nation after nation was drawn into the fray. Section 5. Trench Warfare. Life in the Trenches. Trench warfare became synonymous with World War I, particularly on the Western Front. Soldiers dug extensive trench systems to protect themselves from the enemy's fire. Life in the trenches was grueling. Soldiers faced constant threats from artillery, gas attacks, and diseases. The trenches were often muddy, filled with rats, and provided little shelter from the elements. The stalemate on the Western Front meant that neither side could gain significant ground. Soldiers lived in these trenches for months, sometimes even years, with little movement. Trench warfare became a war of attrition, where the goal was to wear down the enemy. The conditions in the trenches left a lasting psychological impact on those who survived. The phrase "shell shock" emerged to describe the trauma experienced by soldiers. Section 6. Key Battles and New Technologies. Several key battles marked World War I. The Battle of the Somme and the Battle of Verdun were among the most significant. These battles resulted in massive casualties and demonstrated the war's brutality. At the Battle of the Somme, which lasted from July to November 1916, over 1 million men were wounded or killed. It was one of the bloodiest battles in human history. The Battle of Verdun, lasting from February to December 1916, saw similar devastation. New technologies played a significant role in these battles. Tanks, machine guns, and poison gas were introduced, changing the nature of warfare. The use of aircraft for reconnaissance and combat also became prominent. These innovations made the war more deadly and changed military tactics. The introduction of new technologies ensured that World War I was unlike any conflict that had come before. Section 7. The Eastern Front and other theaters. While the Western Front is often the focus, the Eastern Front saw significant action as well. Here, Germany and Austria-Hungary battled Russia. The Eastern Front was more fluid, with larger movements of troops compared to the trench warfare of the West. The war in the East was marked by significant battles such as the Battle of Tannenberg, where Germany achieved a decisive victory over Russia. However, the harsh conditions and vast distances posed significant challenges. Beyond Europe, World War I extended to Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. In Africa, colonial forces clashed as European powers sought to expand their influence. In the Middle East, the Gallipoli Campaign and the Arab Revolt were notable events. These theaters of war highlighted the global scale of the conflict. It wasn't just a European war, it was a world war, affecting regions far beyond the European continent. Section 8. The Russian Revolution and its impact. The Russian Revolution of 1917 was a pivotal event during World War I. The immense strain of the war exacerbated existing social and political tensions in Russia, leading to revolution. In March 1917, the February Revolution led to the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II and the establishment of a provisional government. However, continued dissatisfaction and the ongoing war effort led to the October Revolution, where the Bolsheviks, led by Lenin, seized power. The new Bolshevik government sought peace with Germany, resulting in the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk in March 1918. This treaty ended Russia's involvement in World War I, but came at a great territorial cost. The Russian Revolution had far-reaching consequences. It not only changed the course of the war, but also laid the groundwork for the Soviet Union, impacting global politics for decades to come. Section 9. Colonial warfare in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. World War I saw significant conflicts in colonial regions. In Africa, Allied and Central powers fought over their colonies. Battles occurred in East Africa, West Africa, and North Africa, involving local troops conscripted by colonial powers. In Asia, Japan, aligned with the Allies, seized German territories in China and the Pacific. The war in these regions was marked by a struggle for control over colonies and resources. The Middle East saw the famous Gallipoli Campaign, where Allied forces attempted to secure a sea route to Russia. The campaign failed, resulting in heavy casualties. Additionally, the Arab Revolt against Ottoman rule, supported by the British, aimed to weaken the Ottoman Empire. Colonial warfare added another layer to the global conflict. It demonstrated how World War I was not confined to Europe but had worldwide implications. Section 10. The Armistice and Treaty of Versailles. On November 11, 1918, an armistice was signed, ending the fighting of World War I. The world breathed a sigh of relief as the guns fell silent. However, the war's end brought new challenges. The Treaty of Versailles, signed on June 28, 1919, formally ended the war. It imposed heavy reparations and territorial losses on Germany. The treaty aimed to prevent future conflicts, but sowed seeds of resentment. The treaty's harsh terms contributed to economic hardship in Germany and political instability. Many historians believe these factors played a significant role in the rise of Adolf Hitler and the onset of World War II. The Treaty of Versailles reshaped the world map and had profound long-term effects. It attempted to create a lasting peace, but instead led to new tensions. Section 11. The Legacy of World War I. World War I left an indelible legacy. Politically, it led to the fall of empires. The Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, German, and Russian empires all collapsed. New nations emerged from their ashes. Economically, the war drained the resources of many countries, leading to economic turmoil and contributing to the Great Depression. The social impact was equally profound, with a lost generation of young men and widespread trauma. The war also spurred significant technological and medical advancements. Innovations in warfare technology and medical treatment emerged from necessity. As we reflect on World War I, we must consider its lessons. Can we prevent such a catastrophe from happening again? The Great War reminds us of the devastating consequences of conflict and the enduring quest for peace.